Here's a thought. A rotten apple in a basket of apples. Over time, all of these apples are going to rot and become edible. And that is just in the context of bad and food that goes off. And this concept of transformation from bad, or from rather good to bad, what if we turn it around? What if we made it from bad to good? And what if we applied it to people? A good example for how of this influence of change, this transformation from bad to good, can be Nelson Mandela. The best example is that of the Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So picture this. It's November 1918. An armistice is signed. Fast forward 6 months or 7 months to the Palace of Versailles, where a treaty is being signed. World War I has just ended. And if you jump 20 years ahead into the future, unlucky you just landed at the beginning of World War II, 1939 in September. But if you skip forward another 6 years, you get to the end of World War II, 1945. And in the same year, the UN officially existed. And then 3 years later, they drafted the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. And a large number of countries signed it. However, South Africa at that time did not sign it due to some governmental issues. But if you do a time skip to 1996, in the month of December, South Africa eventually signed it for the most obvious political reasons. And now, back to the future. Almost every single country, every body, every governing body, every institution, whatever you want to call it, follows the UDHR, the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, and its guidelines and its policies, and incorporates it completely or partly into whatever it is there to establish. And many countries, like South Africa, built their constitutions upon that of the UDHR. But 1,400 years ago, a guide was sent to mankind, encompassing all of these things that are already found in the constitutions and this Declaration of Human Rights that we now have today. And it all deals with how to be a good human being, how to be a normal human being, how to prevent things like war. But that's another topic we can discuss at another time. But the point of all of this is to show the effect that people have on people. War came to visit with his two close friends, suffering and death. This visit was so unexpected that it shocked the world into realizing that there is a great need for change, a change of social constructs, a change in perspective regarding how we view and how we deal with the basic rights of humans and the responsibilities that we have as humans to uphold and protect the rights of others. Now, the 21st of March is Human Rights Day in South Africa. And I've got one overarching point that I would like to focus on, and that is unity. When people work together, they can achieve unimaginable things. And it's unimaginable because there's more than one brain working on it. And these things are often extremely good, like those projects that people are working on that are there to design and create and sustain institutions for education and expression. But they can also be extremely bad. The designing and building of systems of oppression and indoctrination. However good or bad a thing may seem to be, by the mere fact that there were people working together on it, already shows that when there is unity regarding a shared objective or a common cause that unites us together, that will ultimately lead to success in achieving those goals that group of individuals had set out to do. Now, an example that we could relate to is the COVID vaccine. in under 2 years almost, a vaccine was found for a brand new virus, which in the medical world is nothing short of a miracle. And given our context, on an international level, on an international scale, the COVID pandemic, the lockdowns, the restrictions, the vaccine, and all of that, we are united in this fight against the coronavirus. But if you break it down to the national or even a communal level, what you will find is that there is an even greater need for us to be working together. And it's greater than what we could ever imagine it to be. Because this is a battle that we are fighting against corona. And inevitably, in all battles, there will be some sort of loss. And those who are suffering the losses of this battle that we are fighting, it has now become our responsibility, those who are able, to look after them and to care for them and to support them. And the two major losses that we have in our country, we can find in our socio-economic standing. The economic divide between people grew to the extent that where it is now, it seems almost impossible for it to exist. And the social structures that we have put in place no longer seem to be working. Now, all these problems are our problems to solve because they affect everybody and everyone in one way or another, be it physical, be it mental, be it financial. And they can be solved if we work together. We must be unified on this objective of building our nation so that everybody benefits from it in some way, or at least nobody is being oppressed or having their human rights infringed upon. But a reminder that unity does not mean conformity, as there are multiple answers, there are multiple solutions for a single problem. Like 2 plus 3 equals 5. At the same time, 1 plus 4 is also 5. So in conclusion, the effect that people have on people is immense. And we can build or break people with our words and our actions. And if we are able to realize that this great power has brought such a great responsibility upon us, then we are well on our way to helping everyone in overcoming their challenges and achieving their goals.